They get 5 more minutes at the end if they need it, okay? Reporting and coding irregularities. Events and circumstances or departures from standardized testing procedures are irregularities. They may impact the student performance. They're reported and student scores are flagged simply to say there is something different about the conditions from which the score was obtained. Use caution interpreting the scores. Here are some examples: materials being distributed inappropriately, directions not being followed, improper monitoring or test administration, or of a student going ahead or going back. But in your directions that you read to them, it'll tell them very explicitly, you cannot go ahead, you cannot go back to previous sections, but you still have to monitor them. Reporting irregularities and invalidations. All right, some examples of irregularities: you give them the wrong version of the test, which is not going to happen to us. Wrong accommodations, cheating, students working in the wrong section, testing procedures not being followed, missing test materials, or breach of test security, which we went through. Some irregularities are so serious that they result in invalidation. This is what Ms. Lewis was talking about. Content being disclosed, coached, or distributed, cheating, test administrator altering responses during or after testing. Participation and validation. Federal regulations stipulate that when inappropriate accommodations are used, students may not be considered participants in accountability determinations. In addition to irregularities and validations, systems will be required to code participation and validations for students who receive a conditional accommodation. We'll go over that with the accommodation folks. In the EOG, a potential invalidation occurs when a student receives inappropriately conditional accommodations of oral reading passages and or use of a calculator. So we have to be very careful that we give the student their accommodations. All right, examples of irregularities: cheating, using a prohibited device. All right, sickness during testing administration, because this has happened. Student gets sick prior to starting the test. Upon return to the school, student will complete the test in its entirety and the test is scored as is. So if they have to take a makeup test, they have to take a makeup test. Student gets sick after having completed section 1 but before starting section 2. Upon return to school, they'll complete section 2. If the student gets sick while they're testing in section 1 or 2, test scores may be invalidated by the Georgia DOE, but we just have to report that to the regional office, okay? So if the kid gets sick, let us know immediately. Here are some examples of irregularities. We kind of have gone over this many times, but not giving kids the correct accommodations, students refusing their accommodations, students taking the wrong test, students testing under the wrong GTID, but that's something that I'm going to make sure doesn't happen because all the correct labels will be on their booklets. All right, so here's how you can avoid irregularities. Adhere to security policies, actively monitor, immediately report any possible irregularities, make sure we've identified students who receive accommodations, make sure we're following their IEP 504 and EL plans. If a student is suspected of cheating but there's no proof of his or her action, allow the student to complete the section and or entire test, and a validation can always occur after all the facts are collected. Ms. Lewis was talking to me about this earlier. In the event of an evacuation or other unexpected event, follow the plan in place to quickly secure testing environments and or materials. That's in your folders too. I put the evacuation procedures in place, okay? So you're gonna quickly collect your materials, get them in your box, and take them with you, okay?
Tornado swirl.
Swirl through your room. All right, so for online testing, avoid testing irregularities. Systems must complete all suggested readiness checks prior to and during testing. Hopefully we're not going to encounter any connectivity issues. The district has been doing a lot of tests. Student test tickets must be used to verify student name and GTID. You all know this. Never take a screenshot of any part of the test. Monitor, circulate, and check Anything that you're unsure about, record on the incident log that's in your box. Collect and count. Return all your materials daily. Here's what the incident log looks like. Date, incident, student, incident, and any comments.
Do you need to put on there if a kid went to sleep in class? Yeah.
Anything. I record when the kid, I would definitely record when the kid who has to go to the restroom goes to the restroom. This is where you can document the time they left and the time they returned, okay? And your actions. Yes?
That's what we were just talking about. So I have a student who is in his 504 and it's very, very frequent. You probably know what I'm talking about. So with that, it's going to be so many times with that. And I don't know if I won't be at the fifth grader, so I guess whoever's front. So is that something that will be done for him? Is this a special case?
Document it.
I don't think he is. I don't think he got one of those forms.
Well, whether he is or not, wherever he is, yes, document it.
So
If it happens multiple times, document it. Every single time.
Okay.
It's better to document too much, okay? This is more for me, but when there are irregularities, which we're going to avoid because we're all going to be monitoring, right, and circulating, but it's a long process to go through, so we're going to try to really avoid any, okay? But this is what the form looks like that we would have to complete and send to the district. You all have this form in your folders, and you also have the green form that you're going to sign and return to me. These are the code of ethics and as it relates to student assessment, and it also lists the sanctions from the PSC. Read through that very carefully. You have the must do and must not do in your folders. Okay, the one you're signing for me is your must not do, but you have the full form in your folders. This is from the Department of Education, Georgia DOE. All right, concerning professional ethics, I think we covered this pretty well. Do you have any questions about it? Any questions? We already talked about this. Don't discuss the test content with students or adults. Let me see if there's anything here we need to hit. Test will be locked up. Any questions here? Okay. All right. Planning for a conducive environment. Go ahead and start thinking about this now. You want to make sure that you're preventing any possibility even of cheating, okay? We have a lot of small groups, so you'll be able to strategically place your kids in most situations. Just be mindful of that, okay? What kind of pencils do they have to use?
Number 2.
Make sure you have a working clock or timer. I think we've hit all this. Okay. All kids are taking what form of the test?
A1.
Yeah, 1A.
A1A.
137. Can you start reading through?
Yep.
All right.
Oh, I can't rush you.
I think we've hit all this. If you have any questions, please stop me. We've hit all of this.
One thing that she's going through here is the examiners versus proctor responsibilities. Know that there is a lead in the room, the examiner. However, the primary purpose is for the proctor to serve as support, but also a checks and balance. You know, vibe off of each other, remind each other, second check each other. That's what we all here for. When we get to the logistics and your group, scrutinize everything. Let us know if you see any challenges. Everything is for us to support each other and make sure that none of us make any mistakes. So everybody's diligent in, holding each other accountable.
Okay? Hallway monitors too? Yes.
Page 15, general restroom breaks.
Yeah.
If they leave during section 1, they may not complete section 1 when they come back.
That's not for restroom break. But if, and tell me if I'm mistaken, if they get sick and have to leave the building.
They leave the building.
Yeah.
What slide are you on?
It's on page 15.
General restroom break guidance.
Ms. Gallo, will you make a note of that? They can go to the restroom. I'm telling you, they can go to the restroom and they can come back if they did their test, okay? If they get sick and they have to leave the room and come back, that's okay too. If they get sick and they can't come back for whatever reason, they go home, that's when we would have to document that and they wouldn't be able to complete that session. Okay? Okay, well, we'll make sure that's cleared up.
We'll double check on that. That will be new if that's the case.
Yeah, that's pretty
Extreme.
I'm gonna skip through all of this. This is, you'll see this when you pick your test up.
Make sure that when you're signing your test materials in and out, your signature says that you received that number or whatever that is by the sign out line. Ms. Stansfield or Ms. Galloway's or myself, my signature says that that's what we gave you, or received. So our signature is what we received and responsible for. Your signature is what you took away and what you're responsible for. One key thing that typically happens is that you miss manuals or you may forget one test booklet. If you said that you walked away with it, you're still held accountable for that. So make sure that you're counting, as tedious as it is. I counted this before I left my room. When you get back, count it again. So all those things are critical.
And we'll have checks and balances, so you'll count, I'll count, Galloway will be there to help me count. We're all gonna be counting all day. All right, come pick up your stuff between 6:45 and 7:30. So I'll make sure I'm here early. So if you get here early, come early. Because I think most of us don't get here that early. So if you're here early, go ahead and come pick up your materials. All right.
Stay with me.
What's that?
Then you gotta stay with me, right?
Yes, that's true. That's a good point.
The sooner you
Or
get it, you
lock
have to stay with
They have to
it.
stay with
If you get it at 6:45, you have to pick
Like
it
if you lock it up in the closet,
Yeah.
it's locked. Right, it's locked.
All right, so we've arranged the schedule, and you guys are gonna have to let us know if you find any holes in it, okay? Because it was a logistical nightmare to try to figure out how to get all these kids tested. But all the accommodations kids will be on day 2, okay? All students should use the restrooms by 8. Make sure as your kids are coming into class, you're sending them to the restroom. Everybody. Okay, we want to keep the hallways clear and the building quiet during testing. All right, late students will be held in the front office until a break time. And then we'll try to start makeups in the afternoon for those kids that come in late. All right, the hall monitors will be all over the building, okay, so if you need them, holler. We're also gonna give you a sheet of red paper and a blue paper in your box. If you have a problem, that's, sorry? Emergency folder. Oh, okay. So use your emergency folder. I don't have to give you that. So if you have a problem, it's your red card. Oh, it's red, yellow, and green.
Yeah, we have a testing assignment, right? We have one in our emergency folder. The testing sign is gonna be in your vehicle that you put up outside your window. So when it's break time, you pull it down, then it's hallway.
We don't have some of those slides, right?
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We just added working on it.
The red and green signs
Yes.
are in your
So it's
emergency
kind
folder.
of late, you're trying to get them still tested on the correct day, not throw them into a makeup center.
Correct.
That's good.
That's the goal.
Okay. Pencils. Paras, I would love it if you'd help me sharpen them every day. Alright, schedule, we already went over this, pickup time, make sure you're sending kids to the restroom. We went to patrols,